What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. If you have been thinking that the $2,000 per month stimulus check is just a pipe dream, it's too good to be true, well, guess what? It's not. There's a lot of people currently discussing this, and I'm not talking about YouTubers that have nothing to do with Congress. I am talking about actual lawmakers, people that put these bills into place, people that actually have something to do with legislation. Yes, there are actually lawmakers at this point, that are talking and discussing a $2,000 per month stimulus check. There are actually proposals out there that include $2,000 per month stimulus checks. And two of the most influential people in Congress right now are behind them. Currently, we have Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is going to be the new chairman of the Senate Budget Committee. He has a lot of power. He will be the one that pretty much dictates how money is spent. Also, we have another very important person, Kamala Harris. If you don't know who she is, she will be the next vice president of the United States. They have both proposed a $2,000 per month stimulus check. Not recently, it's been in the past. It was during the height of the pandemic. However, currently it's being said that this right now, the winter months are the worst for this pandemic. So why would they not support a $2,000 stimulus check at this point? Well, we don't got to worry about that because they do. All reports right now indicate that they are wanting to push forward with this legislation. And it's not just those two people. We have others that are fighting for this exact same legislation. The good thing about this is there are currently proposals that were passed through the previous Congress, through the 116th Congress. So all they have to do is make a few minor adjustments and then repass those bills. Kick it back to the House, repass the bills, and then send it over to the Senate. And you think it's going to pass there? It possibly would. Now, here's what we know. Right now, there are many people begging Congress, give us more, give us additional help, provide some relief. You promised us $2,000 checks, not monthly, but $2,000 checks. Why have you gone back on your word and are now only promising us $1,400 checks? It makes absolutely no sense. And right now there's a lot of progressives that are pushing against Joe Biden and the Biden administration saying, you promised $2,000 checks. If you go back on your word now, guess what? The voters are going to remember this come 2022, and the Democrats will not hold the majority in the House and will not hold the majority in the Senate. It will go back to Republicans. And then for Joe Biden and the Biden administration to try to push anything through between 2022 and 2024 is going to be almost impossible because Republicans who would then control the House and the Senate will not get a single thing done. And that's going to be very difficult for this country. Now, I want to read you some tweets from a fellow lawmaker who also co-sponsored a $2,000 monthly stimulus check as well. These tweets are from Ed Markey. He said last week, and I quote, "When this pandemic began, Kamala Harris, Bernie Sanders, and I fought for $2,000 monthly payments for the American people. That fight continues, and when Joe Biden is sworn in as the next president, we will immediately get to work delivering this badly needed relief." Now, I want to be very clear. These three people, okay, Bernie Sanders and Kamala Harris obviously have some influence. They're very influential people in Congress. Ed Markey, he's pretty influential as well. However, Joe Biden, it's going to all come down to Joe Biden. Does he support a $2,000 monthly stimulus check? In the past, he's never really said much about it. He said he supports a $2,000 check. He said he promised the American people a $2,000 check. But he kind of went back on that. So, what are we going to see? Now, I want to read you another tweet. This again is from Ed Markey. This is just from a few days ago. And he reiterated the exact same thing. He said, and I quote, "The Biden-Harris coronavirus rescue package makes immediate and robust relief for American families and workers the top priority for the new administration. We must still do more, including providing $2,000 monthly checks for all. And then, just a short time ago, he had this to say. Again, on Twitter, he says, "The new Congress needs to pass my legislation with Senator Sanders to give people $2,000 every month." Now, he is not going to let this go. Bernie Sanders has a lot of other things to worry about now, so he is not just going to be fighting for $2,000 stimulus checks. What Bernie Sanders is currently fighting for, number one, obviously he wants $2,000 stimulus checks, or he wants bold action so that the American families, these working class families, can finally get back on their feet and provide the relief that they so badly need. He also is fighting to get rid of wasteful spending that's going to militaries, going to big corporations. For example, Boeing receives billions and billions of dollars for their defense contracts. Well, he wants to get rid of wasteful spending there. He has many priorities. I'm not going to go and outline every single one. Another one, though, he wants to provide Medicare for all. This would mean during this pandemic, whether you have insurance or you do not have insurance, you would be able to get some type of medication. You would get some type of actual support. You would be able to go to a doctor, go to a hospital, and get some type of treatment, and it would not cost a thing. That's what he's wanting. Now, what we are also hearing is that Bernie Sanders, again, who's going to control the money in the Senate, he wants to make big and bold changes, and he wants to do it now. He does not care who he hurts. He does not care who he upsets. He is not opposed to using that nuclear option, which is the budget reconciliation process. And if this is all it takes, and this is what he has to do to get bills passed without Republican votes, he's on board. He will do that. And he wants to provide for the American people, not just the big corporations. One of the things that he does want to do, he wants to increase taxes on the wealthy and these larger corporations. Right now, the hardest part about this is, yes, he has to get 51 votes. The big corporations, a lot of them do support and are donors to a lot of these lawmakers. And they support their campaign and help them rerun and all this stuff. The problem here is if every single Democrat goes up against this, or goes up against providing tax breaks for big corporations, they could lose out on millions and millions of dollars. We're seeing this already, but we will continue to see this going forward. Now, I want to give you and provide you my take on all this, as I don't want to get your hopes up saying that, oh yeah, those $2,000 monthly checks, they're coming. Just wait. Just go to the bank with your hands out because they'll hand you that check. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying right now is the $1,400 or the $1,400 stimulus checks will most likely go through. That's almost a given at this point. Some people are going to oppose them. Some people do not support them entirely, but they do support the value that they bring to the American people and the economy. We probably won't see a $2,000 stimulus check in addition to the $600, but that's at this point. As of Sunday afternoon, that's what we are hearing. I do expect we will either see one of two options. Number one, a $2,000 stimulus check amendment. I believe that's the most likely option. The second option would be a $1,400 third stimulus check. Yes, if we split it up and it's not a $2,000 amendment, it's technically a third stimulus check. We got the initial stimulus check of $1,200. That's number one. That was great. It helped out many people. The second stimulus check of $600, we got that, or many people got that a couple weeks ago, even last week, and we'll continue to get it for the rest of this month. And then if it's a $1,400 check, not an amendment, that would be the third stimulus check. And we could continue to see even more checks after that. However, in regards to that $2,000 monthly stimulus check, I can see this happening Okay, honestly, I can see this happening. But only if the economy struggles to get back to where we once were, get back to pre-pandemic levels or fairly close to it. We had a booming economy before this pandemic. President Trump was right. We had a great economy. A lot of people were doing great. Businesses were having a wonderful year, a wonderful quarter. And then the pandemic hit and things just shut down. So it's going to be on Joe Biden and the Biden administration to get us back to where we once were. I can see this happening again if the economy struggles to get back to where we once were. And also if millions of people are struggling to get back on their feet. If that happens, I could see a $2,000 stimulus check coming on a monthly basis. Now, do I expect this to happen in the next few months? No, obviously not. I expect if this happens, it's going to take months. We might not see this until the summer of 2021. If monthly stimulus checks were to pass, I'd assume that in order to do this, everybody would need to file their 2020 federal income taxes. This would allow Congress and the IRS to only provide stimulus checks to those that were negatively impacted financially because of this pandemic. That means they actually made even less money. So instead of $75,000 as an individual or $150,000 as a married couple, you would probably be down close to like $25,000 or less as an individual, $50,000 or less as a married couple filing jointly. That's probably what we will see. Again, the soonest we could even see this would most likely be in the summer, most likely be sometime around June in order to get this done. So I do think there's a possibility this could happen before that, but all indications, reading all reports and seeing what other experts are currently saying is that the likelihood of a $2,000 stimulus check happening soon is very small, but it's still possible. I just want you to keep in mind that Bernie Sanders was one of the ones that originally passed or proposed a $2,000 monthly check. He could try to get this passed as a way to just kind of stick it to the Republicans as they've kind of done to him for so long. But I personally believe, after again reading through so many things, doing a lot of research, digging through videos and articles and just research papers, I personally believe that Joe Biden, this is not a priority of his to provide monthly direct payments to the American people. He wants to provide direct payments on a weekly basis for unemployment, but anything in excess of that, he just doesn't want to do because he wants to tackle other issues first that he deems a little bit more important. Again, providing for the American people is important, but how does he provide for them? A direct check through stimulus, aka that stimulus check of $2,000 per month, or unemployment benefits, rental assistance, food assistance, and things like that. State and local government funding. That is probably the direction he's going to take. I just want to be 100% clear. That is most likely the direction he's going to take, is to do a blanket approach for certain industries, certain people, and a specific target, as opposed to let's just provide $2,000 monthly stimulus checks to every single person out there. So that's what we're hearing. That's what we're seeing. Again, here's what I want you to understand. Just keep this in mind. We will be seeing at least $1,400 in direct payments through a stimulus check. This could go up to $2,000, but I expect it to be $1,400. And we do know there will be $400 per week in unemployment benefits for 28 weeks as well. This will be great. This will help out many people. But if we see a $2,000 monthly stimulus check, again, this will be because the economy is currently struggling and the American people are having a tough time getting back on their feet. So again, if we see a monthly stimulus check, it is not good for the economy and millions of Americans. So that is what we know right now. As always, consider subscribing so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on. And I'll see you guys on the next one.